Hey guys, welcome back. So as we already stepped into the new year, looks like the Canadian immigration will pay even more attention to reach its immigration targets than the previous year. Yes, ever since the pandemic stepped its foot into the world, we are seeing application backlogs in virtually every category for both permanent and temporary immigration. Let it be people applying for student visa, work permit, visitor visa, and even the family reunion programs. The application backlogs have been consistently growing year over year, which is about 1.8 million pending applications as of October 2021. This has been creating a never-ending burden on not only the IRCC but also on the applicants who have lost all their hopes and are dealing with utmost helplessness about their future. I'm sure there must be at least 2 in every 5 applications submitted that haven't heard about any update for a very long time. And you think you could be one of them, right? Keeping that in mind and realizing how a steady stream of immigrants is important to the Canadian economy, the IRCC has proposed some changes and new rules that could turn out to be for the betterment of everyone. And let's talk about what's in it for us that we should be ready for. So without any further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Increased immigration targets. Year 2021 was a great year for Canada in terms of immigration, with record high numbers of immigration that happened during this year. A total of 401,000 applicants were made new permanent residents of Canada from different categories, mostly belonging to the Canadian Experience class, which is CEC, and Provincial Nominee Programs, which is PNP. A big chunk of these also belong to people getting PRs from the Family Sponsorship Programs, which is how my wife got her PR back in February 2021. And looks like the things are on track for 2022 with even higher immigration target of 411,000, which is the highest ever target so far for one single year. So what's in it for us? Basically, with even higher targets, we can scope for an increase in CRS points that are calculated based on our age, work experience, language, and all other deciding factors. And not only that, the subsequent draws conducted by the IRCC every now and then for the express entry and PNP candidates are also likely to increase over time. This could either be similar draws happening constantly at a specified regular time period, or a downfall in the number of points required to be eligible for a particular draw. We have seen that PNP draws had remained pretty consistent for most of the year, especially since September 2021, but there are chances of CEC draws also happening at a regular interval. Number 2. FSW draws will restart again and spousal applications will progress. A lot of my friends living outside Canada have been waiting for a very long time now to come over to Canada through the widely popular program known as the Federal Skilled Worker. But ever since the last draw of December 23, 2020 marked the beginning of a temporary pause in express entry for all the outsiders, these FSW candidates are still looking for a light of hope. And fortunately, to our surprise, this is very likely to happen in this year of 2022. So what's in it for us? Basically, with increased COVID vaccination rates all around the world and controlled travel and entry restrictions, along with obviously increased immigration targets for 2022, we can safely predict that the FSW category is very likely to come back in its game and help all the foreign nationals living outside Canada be a part of the immigration pool. And the same goes for the spousal applications, which currently have a backlog of around 55,000 applications as of October 27, 2021. The processing timelines for these applications is also more likely to reduce over time as more advancement is introduced in processing. Talking about the FSW streams, let me know in the comments below how long have you been waiting in the express entry pool for a draw? And all the spousal sponsorship applicants, let me know in the comments which month did you apply, was it online or paper-based, and what stage are you at right now? Number 3. Additional resources to combat backlog. A total of 85 million Canadian dollars had been proposed to be allocated in the immigration of Canada to boost up the processing of the applications. The government of Canada is very well aware of the situation that economy is currently facing, that is acute labor shortages, the solution of which is only to bring more and more people into the economy who could reverse this effect. And that is only possible by speeding up the processing of work permit and permanent residence applications, especially the family reunion applications that would further reduce the labor gap. And also because the government is very well aware of the pending 1.8 million applications, our Prime Minister and Minister of Finance have decided to allocate additional resources in the form of 85 million Canadian dollars to help combat this situation. Let's just hope this will tremendously reduce the backlog to record low numbers. So what's in it for us? Basically, there are a lot of applicants among us who have been eagerly waiting to hear something about their application, be it the students, foreign workers, or spouses. So pumping additional funds into immigration might bring down numbers to a great extent. If we compare these many backlogs to the last year's backlog of 1,448,000 applications, you can see that the numbers have gone up by around 24%, which need to be addressed as early as possible. Number 4. introduction of new and enhanced immigration programs. Just for all the targets to work, IRCC is thinking of improving all the current streams of immigration along with the introduction of some new streams that will help achieve the target goals. They have already been hinting about this for quite some time, where the spousal sponsorship applications are already stuck in a limbo for a pretty good amount of time, and with no hopes of betterment, the IRCC is planning on improving the temporary resident visa program so that the spouses overseas can at least be reunited with their Canadian spouses while their PR application is being processed. I know the TRV and the visitor visa is one and the same thing, and the visitor visa applications are already in effect to help spouses, but given the highest rates of rejection that are going on right now, the TRV could prove to be a little bit of hope where the IRCC will most probably help ease up the process of obtaining one. Along with that, there was a special application process called the TR to PR program that was introduced by the IRCC last year. In that program, 40,000 of the international students, 30,000 of the essential workers, and 20,000 of the healthcare workers were made permanent residents of Canada with reduced qualification requirements. And now the IRCC is thinking about repeating the same specific program as indicated publicly by the former Minister of IRCC, Marco Mendicino. But as of now, the new Minister of Immigration, Sean Fraser, had not said anything on this topic. So what's in it for us? If we look at the current immigration targets and to keep Canada's economy on track, this TR to PR program has a very high chance of getting reintroduced because it doesn't look like they will be left with any other option. Number 5. Increased electronic processing. IRCC began processing certain applications like the off-campus work permits as early as year 2008. Ever since, a lot of the processing work has been automated for various categories of immigration, especially the express entry program, where a special algorithm is used to access applicants' eligibility since its introduction in January 2015. Later on, the provincial nominee programs followed the same path, and the same automatic processing will continue even more in future for the rest of the programs. A latest example of this is the spousal sponsorship category that now has the option of applying online rather than the traditional paper-based method that has been previously going on for a very long time. Moving ahead another step, even the decision-making process is now being assigned to the artificial intelligence. So what's in it for us? I'd like to let you know that the reason why so much of the processing is being delegated to the artificial intelligence is because the workforce in Canada is going down at record levels, both from COVID and reduced immigration levels. So just to clear up large backlog of applications and meet the anticipated immigration targets, you can be rest assured that large amounts of future processing will be performed automatically. Basically, if more and more applications start getting processed in a much lesser time, then a lot of you will definitely stand some sort of chance to immigrate to Canada. So as we have already discussed the opportunities that the IRCC will be bringing in for us, let's talk about how can you make yourselves prepared for it. Talking about the basics, practically all the immigration programs require you to give a language proficiency test, and some also require an educational credential assessment to even begin your journey to immigrate. So your first priority should be to make sure you have both these documents ready and they continue to remain valid for more than 6 months. And of course, a valid passport is also a must. Why all this? Remember the TR to PR program that was first introduced last year in April? As soon as the news came out about this program, all the educational assessment and language testing centers were immensely flooded with prospective applicants wanting to have their documents ready before the May 6th deadline. But processing so many requests in such a short time frame was almost impossible, which is why a lot of the genuine applicants lost out on this opportunity. Not only that, the international student threshold of 40,000 applications was filled up merely in around 28 hours of time. So as I mentioned before, this TR to PR category has a very high chance of a comeback. So you have to be fully prepared to not miss out on this opportunity again. It's much better to do some expenditure and have all your credentials and language results up to date so that whenever any new category, either temporary or permanent immigration is introduced, you are absolutely ready to go for it. And if you're thinking about immigrating to Canada through marriage, then make sure to check out my other informative videos as well. I especially dedicate most of my videos to the spousal sponsorship programs. And don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe for more future updates on Canadian immigration. Till next time, see you again on Canadian Desi.